Hello, this is Torbjörn Appel from Built on Power. This is a small elevator pitch for one of my presentations that I do at conferences for user groups and for companies and IBM regularly all around the world. This presentation is called Why Leaving the Platform is a Bad Idea. And the platform in most of the cases is IBM I that runs on IBM Power servers. So let's see. Here we go. Well, of course, a little bit of background about myself. But then we jumpstart and go through a little bit of examples from the real world, right? So this is maybe a picture, a good picture, what it looks like when you listen to the sales pitch from the vendor, perhaps, or from someone that really wants you to replace your what they call a legacy system, which is not always a bad thing. I would even say most of the time it's a very, very good thing to have a legacy system. But you should do something around it, about it, of course. I have a lot of examples and also numbers from companies like Gartner. That is not always easy to follow what they think you should do, but I pick up the ones that suits my agenda, of course. And this is a number that is how many of employees experience frustration with new software. So this is when you replace the old tailor-made legacy software system and replace it with something new. 60% this report are unhappy with it. That's not good, of course. And we'll go through a number of official failures when it comes to replacing often one or many systems with one system that's supposed to fit all. And this is quite easy to just Google yourself, right? So failed ERP implementation, and this is happens every time. So the web is updated regularly with new examples. A lot of things why it is a failure, and the list is long, as you can see. This is just examples and things that you cannot calculate on. Unhappy staff, for example, undersized system. Or oversized systems that you bought something way too big, which means it's expensive, right? And vendor looking, you go to some cloud vendor, and then you end up locked in that vendor solution. A change of processes, and this is so many things that we can discuss, and that is, as you can see, 2/3 of the actual costs are often not in the calculation. This is not my own words, but it's a quote. But of course, do nothing at all is the most expensive thing. So you have to do something, and we talk about why and what you can do. And of course, from my point of view, modernization is the way forward. Again, a lot of numbers, we can go through them, or you can keep the presentation afterwards to read through the details yourself. But of course, if you have this old legacy system and it's a green screen for end users, for system admins it's something else, and I have another presentation about that. But for end users, 50-50 is not great, right? And even maybe have a screen scraping solution that was modern 15-20 years ago. You should do something about it. I would recommend you to prioritize this, right? And of course, today you have a lot of options where JavaScript is the most common for all platforms, right? So that's the way forward, I would say. Maybe some tooling if you want to keep the 50-50. You have vendors that solve the issue as well, but you have so many options around the UI. Reporting, for sure, still we can see people are printing maybe not reports, but information. You should have a modern dashboard. Web query is one really great that is integrated more or less in the operating system and gives the upper management, for example, all the information they need on the daily basis. And this should, of course, run on the system where the data is located. So it should not be offload it to an external server farm or anything like that. If the system is closed, open it up with APIs, and of course all the technology that there is out there is also available on IBMI. And this is the end message. Yes, you can do it. There is very, very little things that you cannot do on IBMI. I usually said the only thing you cannot run is Windows applications, and why do you want that, right? But anyhow, I would be happy to do this presentation for you at some point, or join me when I go to conference later this year, for example. Bye bye.